To already start off our heart getting more open, let's start off with a bolster right behind us. I like to put it nice and long. And then we're gonna start to head our back up over onto it. And what I want you to do is just figure out the leg position that's gonna be okay for your body. So sometimes this arch is really intense on that low back. So you've got some options. If it's intense, keep your feet planted. That'll make it less intense on the low back. Other options, if it feels good, you could take cobbler's pose, cross leg, straight legs, whatever is going to work for your low back. That's totally fine. Take that option. And just set the arms comfortably, just kind of resting at each side. We'll play with some other arm things that get our chest more open shortly. But at least for the first minute or two while we're connecting with our intention, the first thing I want us to do is just start off kind of resting and helping the muscles fall a little bit more open like this. So when you get settled into this shape, start to let the breath flow just a little bit deeper. Feel them flow into belly. And see about making the exhale extra long. That long exhale brings us toward relaxation. The breath we tend to take right before we fall asleep, so it kind of tricks our body into thinking it's time to relax. So just enjoy a few breaths like that. Let it flow in. Let it start to rest out. We're coming across the end of the day. This practice today, our hope is to help our body unwind from all the tightness that we might have come across today, and also to help prepare our bodies for sleep, help settle some of the tight things, to help calm our nervous system, to help our breath be really relaxed, so that whether it's immediately afterwards or whether it's just a short couple of hours away, when it's time to head down onto our bed, this is the day when our thoughts are a little bit calmer, our mind is calmer, our emotions are calmer, our body is calmer. So sometimes it's useful to use this first few moments to do a body scan. Consciously find the tight spots. And whenever you remember, send some extra breath to those spots. Make the tiniest little adjustments to help that area. Just allow good deep breaths to flow. Take 3 more long breaths, extra long exhale. And as your third breath wraps up, what we're going to do is glue our forearms together right in front of our chest. So palms can touch one another, forearms touch, even elbows touch. And trying to keep as much of this surface area glued together as possible. Let the fingers start to rise to the space right above our head. Maybe fingers touch the ground, maybe not. Just keep as much of it glued together as possible. Arms starting to stretch up overhead. So let's create a little bit more space through the abdomen. So our breaths through the belly will massage that abdominal area. And one more deep breath in and out. Start to return the forearms right to where they were above us. From that place, now let the arms separate. They're falling open like cactus arms to each side. Since we're a little bit elevated, as the elbows open to left and right, you might be hovering the elbows above the ground. That's nice because then gravity helps to pull our elbows and our pecs a little bit more open. If you touch the ground, nothing wrong with that either. So this part of the body, doing a few rounds of breath to open. Another huge inhale flows in. Then with our exhale, start to let the hands come behind the head. Hands are clasping together. And the hands will scoop up the head. Head is still heavy. So if you were to release the muscular effort of arms, it would just drop right back. But from that heavy head, the strength of the arms picks the head up till the back of the neck is gently stripped. So very frequently, just a simple tuck directly in is all the body needs. Sometimes a slight rocking of the head left or right will ease some of your specific tensions. So whether it's stillness or gentle movement, let the body have a little bit of time to relax here. One more good inhale. And then exhale. We're going to help our body kind of roll off of the bolster. So free out one of your hands and tilt off to the side. You're propped up on a nice elbow. The bolster is going to scoot just to the space right where our hips currently are. So once you've moved the bolster to that place, return your hips onto the bolster and let the heart continue to travel all the way down to ground. Feel that nice release of head to the ground. And at first, keep the feet planted. You need to adjust your hips to be slightly forward, slightly backward. That's fine. Find that spot that feels the most comfortable on the bolster. At first, the feet are planted like a bridge pose. So as the chin is curled into the chest like this is very helpful for the thyroid area. It's helping extra blood to pool in that area, oxygen-rich blood. The ancient yogis call shoulder stand the queen of all the yoga poses. The king being the headstand. And this one's the queen because of the tremendous benefits to the body from starting to invert. So this bridge pose is that kind of initial step to get toward that nice inversion. That initial step allowing heart to be just a little bit more elevated than the head. That nice inversion, it's very calming, very restful for the heart. Nice for the digestion to get a chance to flip where the food rests in the intestines. Just flipping gravity, helping to get things moving a little better. Or even helping circulation and helping lymph movement. So in that process, we're clearing out things that are less healthy, helping to boost that immune system. Feel how the low back is receiving this as well, especially after that arch that it was in just a little while ago. We're going to start heading in toward a gentle version of figure 4. So start to place the right ankle up on the left side. Let the right knee fall as wide open as naturally gravity will allow it. Maybe even resting right hand on the right thigh for just a little bit more weight. So how the hip starts to open, we'll have opportunities to take it deeper if we wish. Just start off nice and easy from here. For those that want to start easing a little bit deeper, start to take the left leg inward. You'll notice since our hips are elevated, the legs kind of just naturally curl in toward us. So if it's already kind of intense, it might be helpful just to use a hand on the knee and a hand on the ankle to just support it like a shelf at a good height, a good distance. That could be all the hip requires. Sometimes hugging around it to just pull it in a little bit deeper might feel nice. So you choose that variation that's going to work really nicely for the body. Feel how when we're kind of flipped upside down like this, it kind of gives our brain permission to kind of pull the plug and just let some of the crazy thoughts that have been going on all day kind of leak right out. It's almost like it's easier to just be present, just be with the breath. From this spot, let's enjoy another 3 beautiful deep cycles of breath. As that third breath finishes, you'll find the legs starting to drop back down toward the floor. Eventually the right foot is released all the way to floor. And then left ankle takes that first position. So left ankle on right thigh. Just start to let the knee droop open. Just releasing the gravity for the first. Sometimes extra weight of left hand on that left thigh is helpful. Even just as a reminder that the muscles that are trying to be tense don't have to do that. Like we can tell the body, thank you. I know that that tension has been helpful, kept my joints maybe a little bit more safe, kept me from overstretching, kept me from injury. But in this moment, I'm safe. The breath is taking a shallow shape. It's kind of natural since we are tilted upside down, but see if you can remind the lungs that they can go a little bit deeper. See if you can try to make sure the breath is expanding into the belly area. When you're ready to start taking the figure 4 shape in closer to the chest, go ahead and invite it a little bit closer. Again, your choice if you're doing the hug or just popping up foot and thigh like a little shell. as we start to release the left ankle from that right thigh, we're going to stay in this curled in shape just a little bit longer. There's different options of exactly what you can do here based on what feels best for your body. So you could take it almost like a fetal position. Just let one hand support each thigh, let the knees droop in, or even hug around it all. So it's like we're in a nice little child's pose. You could take it like a happy baby pose. Let the knees fall open, grab the feet, help the hips go wide. You could take it like a shoulder stand, legs stretching directly up to the sky. Find that spot where the legs practically float. Or you could take this like a plow pose. Straight legs tilt closer. Maybe even take straight arms up to the shins to support the legs in that easy stretch. So you've got several options here. Let your body explore until you find the spot that feels like it's helping things that you need right now. So wherever we're at, let's sink even deeper into it for about 5 more breaths. Let those good inhales flow in. Really long exhales. Each of us naturally have different paces. So sooner or later, when you finish that 5th breath, take it very slow as you start to return one foot and then the other back down to the ground. And whenever you've come back down to this bridge pose shape, let's lift up the hips, scoot the bolster away. We end up with hips back down to the ground. Feel all this relief suddenly happening through the hips, through the body, through the spine. It's like our whole spine has had a chance to grow a bit longer. So we'll take easy movements for a few moments now. You could either do windshield wipers, letting the knees start to rock left and right, or you could bring the knees into the chest and just kind of rock the low back a little bit. So maybe one more rock left and right. And let's start to make our way up toward a seated place. So some of us might want to just roll directly up. Some of us might go through a fetal position and then press into the ground to come up. It's personal preference, whatever feels best. Whenever we're up, let's take an easy seated place. You can always sit on bolster if that makes the hips more comfortable. And what we're going to do is a breath here that's going to help our body calm down by, in a way, making us breathe extra slow. So it's a count of 8 to breathe in and a count of 8 to breathe out. So if nothing else, that makes it easy. We're not overthinking it. That count of 8 goes in small pulses. The first pulse is in the nose. The second pulse is in the mouth. Third pulse is nose. Fourth pulse mouth. So it's just inhale, 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 inhale. And it ends up being 8 pulses to get all the way to that full inhale. And then same thing for the exhale. Pulse out the nose, pulse out the mouth. Pulse out the nose, pulse out the mouth. You're not letting any breath come in between. It's just inhale, inhale, inhale for 8 seconds, and then exhale for 8 seconds. So we'll do a couple of rounds of that. The pulses can be fast. They can be a little bit slower, but we'll do a couple of rounds here. Eyes can be open or closed. Whenever you feel ready, start to take your first round of 8 pulses for inhale, nose and mouth. Whenever you get those 8 pulses, do the exhale, 8 pulses, alternate between nose and mouth. Continue like that, a few good rounds. Inhale 8 pulses, exhale 8 pulses. Let's take 3 more total rounds. Whenever you finish that last round, take a slow, steady count of 8 in. A slow, steady count of 8 out. We'll take our legs toward cobbler's pose. The bottoms of feet can be far in front, or they could be tucked really in close. It's up to you. Oftentimes in restorative, I like to take my bolster out in front of me, maybe at a high tilt, maybe at a lower tilt. But I like to use that as just something easy and comfortable to rest onto. So if that's useful, take it. If not, leave it. You could even stack palms if you need even a few more inches beyond that. But start to feel the low back and the hips and the neck, all sorts of goodies. Have this chance to relax. One more breath here. Make it a consciously slow breath. Then we're going to head onto hands and knees. Take your time heading out. At first, when we come to this shape, it'll feel nice to take an easy movement. So this might just be wagging your tail left and right. It might be more of a cat-cow, spine up and down. It might be more like a hip circle, just kind of circling hips as far as they can, going around and back. Reverse. So whatever feels nice, take a few more of those movements. Good. When it feels comfortable to have a neutral spine right in the center, let's lift our right arm here up to the sky. Allow right hand to do a few nice circles. Clockwise circle, a counter. Maybe one more to each direction. And then we'll thread that right shoulder all the way down to the ground. Some people here choose to take the left hand around the low back. I personally like to walk that left hand up to the top of the mat, but then inch the fingers up to the top right corner to help invite the spine to just spiral open a little bit further. So if that feels nice, take it. If not, leave it. Your preference entirely. Take one more breath, flowing in and out. Slide the left hand about in front of the face again. And then press into that left hand to return us up to this nice kneeling spot. Take a few more freeform wiggles. Cat-cows, shifting hips around, circling the hips. A good easy breath or two, freeing up the shoulders, freeing up the spine. From here, when you feel ready, to float the left arm up. Then let it step. Take a circle or two to each direction. Where you ultimately thread the shoulder all the way under and through. Perhaps the right arm takes the same variation we chose on the other side. My mind's eye, I'm imagining the scene in Harry Potter when Dumbledore takes his wand, touches it to his temple, and then pulls out a memory to place somewhere else. So here, with the left temple down, maybe there's some memory that's ready to leave our head, not needing to be stuck on repeat all the time. Take one more huge breath cycle, flowing in. And exhale, right hand comes in front of the face, press into the ground. Few breaths of wiggles. And scooting up the bolster in front of us. Walk your hands past the bolster, and we're trying to aim the low ribs to be about where the bolster is. So we're pumped up just a little bit. Our chest is up on the bolster. And at first, elbows are underneath us in the shape of Sphinx pose. So it's a nice, very gentle back bend. You're welcome to allow the head to droop down for this one. You can let it get rocked left and right if that feels useful. Lifting the head back up, slide the right arm directly onto the right side. Left hand gets planted either on the floor or on the bolster. What we do is just tilt ourselves up and over with our hips to the point where that right shoulder is starting to stretch. So this might mean that the head is able to rest down It might be that you keep it lifted, try not to exhaust the neck, but just find a good way for a couple of breaths to open up that right shoulder. The hips ease back down to the floor as we switch the arms. Left arm reaching out to the left. Right hand planting floor or bolster. Start to ease your way into the left shoulder stretch. More breaths for this half. And as we ease the hips back down to the ground, we'll enjoy a couple of breaths with the back bend getting just a little bit deeper. So if the low back really doesn't want much more, speak to this, fine. You could also start walking the elbows up onto the bolster to increase the stretch a little bit. You could even plant hands to the ground and straighten the elbows. So it's up to you entirely how deep you take this. It's up to you how your neck is forward, rocked up. I'm easing the left and right, shoulder rolls, whatever feels good. You won't be here too long. Head from here all the way to a child's pose. Maybe the knees are closer. If they're a bit wider, it could provide space to scoot the bolster in if you want that option today. You don't have to take it. It's only what would feel nice for the body. Sliding the hands into plant under shoulders, press into them. Helps us rise. From here, we've got two options for a wide straddle position. We can either sit on the bolster and use that to help our hips tilt us forward, or we could do the opposite, sit on the ground, bolster in front of us as something to lean forward onto. So your choice. You're going to feel easy breaths flowing through your body. 2 more breaths right here. Long exhales. Slow journey up to rise. We scoop up the knees, the feet will slide together. Make sure there's enough space behind you as you return to lay on your back. And from here, we'll take one more little twist. I personally am going to guide us through both knees being together, but if you want to make it a little deeper, you would take the right knee to twist to the left and then the left knee to the right. Either way, let's allow both knees to start to tilt to the left or just the right knee to the left. As you start to tilt, you'll learn if you want the bolster or not. Bolster would allow it to be a more gentle tilt. No bolster is a little bit deeper, so just listen to your back. Perhaps arms spread open is one more chance to allow those shoulders to stay relaxed and to spread wide. Feel the breath starting to flow freely, including into the chest, including into the belly. Good. Heading hips to the ground. We'll take the second side, whatever you did. So if you use the bolster, switch bolster. If you did both knees, do the both knees again. If you did just one knee, it's the left, heading over to the right. Just feel the body kind of tilting back to balance right here. So as we start to head out of this side, we choose our Shavasana shape for today. Perhaps it's bolster under the knees, very comfortable. Or perhaps there's a different position. Just begin to feel your body releasing open into that shape, whatever it is. And begin to play with the breath. Good deep inhales, but super long exhales. Feeling that exhale, release all the cares, all the worries of the day. Body increasingly more comfortable. Feel us deepening for a beautiful, relaxed state. Here, let's begin to deepen our inhales. And our exhales. Little movements to begin to return to the body. Fingers and toes. Ankles and wrists. Stretching out in a way that feels very nice. Perhaps choosing to take a fetal position off to one side very comfortably. Enjoying a few more beautiful breaths, maybe 3, 4, 5 good deep breath cycles. Until sooner or later, you feel ready to press yourself up comfortably. As we rise up with hands in front of the heart, we recognize as we head to the rest of this evening, there's nothing we have to do, nowhere we have to be. We just get to take care of this body, nourish it, self-care, breathe, eventually lay our head down to rest. So with that deep kind of rest being the only thing required of us up ahead, let's allow ourselves to wrap up this time we shared together with the sound of Om. Deep inhale now. Om. May we be filled with light and happiness and peace. Namaste.